Mr. Cruz Rodriguez in South Chicago. Today, September the 21st, 2005. This is in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, too. So we're very honored to be here with Mr. Cruz Rodriguez, a World War II veteran. This is for the U.S. Latino and Latina Oral History Project out of the University of Texas in Austin. And so we're going to start with Mr. Rodriguez. We're going to do it in English and Spanish, probably back and forth. Señor Cruz Rodriguez, where were you born?
In San Francisco del Rincón, state of Guanajuato.
Okay, in what year? What day and year?
1914.
What day?
May 3rd.
May 3rd, 1914. Okay, and your mother and father, where are they from?
From the same town. Same
town.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you were born there. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I had, let's see, 3. That's all.
You had 3 brothers and sisters?
Yeah, 1 sister and 2 brothers.
Okay, and your parents came over to the United States?
Yeah, we came here 1927.
1927. They crossed into Texas?
We crossed the border, yeah.
Okay, and where did they settle?
I was 7 years old when I came here. And we were working in the fields, picking cotton and everything.
Okay.
And then my father goes over here to Michigan to work in the sugar beets. See? And from there we came over here. See, 1930.
Okay. Your father went to work where? What did he do?
He was working at the U.S. Steel.
The steel mill. Okay. That's your dad. And so you came to Chicago and you went to 1930. You went to school?
Well, not right away because I was going to school, Silver School down Bush, where all the neighborhood were all Polish people.
Okay, it was called the Bush, right?
Yeah, they called it
in South
Bush.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went to school there. Did you go to high school?
No.
You didn't go to high school?
No,
okay.
Because I was afraid me ponían las pegas. Yeah, they used to beat the hell out of me. Yeah, that's why I quit going to school. See? And I started going to work in the farms,
Okay.
picking tomatoes, corn.
So did you follow the migrant stream? Did you go to Michigan and where did you go pick?
Michigan, and we were at Wisconsin and Michigan and Wisconsin and Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you followed that migrant stream, working where all the people went?
Yeah, working in the fields,
Okay. Well, did you go by yourself or your brothers and sisters also?
No, just my brother and I.
Okay, your brother. And I noticed this is your brother over here?
Yeah.
This is the only one that's alive today?
No, he's dead already.
Oh, he passed away already.
Yeah,
okay.
He passed away in 1951.
1951. Okay. What was his name?
Frank.
Frank. Okay. He was here in Chicago too, huh?
Yeah.
Did he go to the service or not?
No.
No, he didn't go.
He went back to Mexico.
Oh, he went back to Mexico.
No, he didn't like here.
Oh, he didn't like it here. Okay. Could you? Okay, Mr. Rodriguez. So you went to work, and then when did you go to the service?
I went to the service 1942.
1942.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, were you drafted or did you enlist?
I was drafted.
You were drafted.
Yeah.
Okay. Were there a lot of other Mexicans that you know that were drafted and or went to the service from here, from the South Chicago area?
Well, yeah, I got a because we used to play baseball. See, we had a team.
What was the name of the team?
Mayas.
The Mayas. Very good.
Yeah,
Oh.
the Mayas.
There was a lot of baseball teams here in South Chicago. The Yaquis, the Mayas.
The Excelsiors and Atlas.
Okay.
See, but they were already, older than us. The Mayas, we were supposed to be only, we belonged to the league but they didn't want no more than 17 years old. See?
Okay, so you played baseball. Now, did you play just with all the other Mexican league teams, or did you play with
No,
other?
just with the Mayas, because the other teams they were not good. No.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you play against, say, like the other non-Mexican teams, like the
No,
Polish or the
no,
Blacks,
we
or
play against the a colored team by the name of Lakeside Maroons.
oh, Lakeside Maroons. Okay.
Yeah, and the rest of them, there were 16 teams, but the rest of them, they were güeros, you know.
They were whites, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we were the only Mexicans in the league, and only the Prietos, you know, the black, they were Lakeside Maroons.
Lakeside Maroons, okay.
They used to live on Green Bay.
Okay.
You know, they didn't come out this way like right.
So did you go play in their area, or they came play
No,
here?
we used to play at Bessemer Park,
Bessemer Park. Okay.
Trumbull Park, and we used to play at Calumet Park, Washington Park.
Oh, so you played in those parks, so
Yeah,
Calumet Park, Bessemer
yeah.
Park, and Humboldt Park too, huh?
No, not Campbell Park, no.
Okay. So that's good. So that's the baseball. I know I'm from East Chicago, Indiana, and we had Los Gallos over there in East Chicago, Indiana. That is
And,
a good baseball team.
And
Now, were there some women teams also?
no, there were teams, you know, of softball.
Softball.
But
They're
I
like
don't
those
know
Palomas and Amapolas.
I don't know
Yeah,
their
okay.
names, you know.
That's another whole subject.
Yeah.
Okay, we talk about that too, because I'm doing a thing on baseball.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the service.
And,
Okay.
and our manager was Mr. Cordero.
Mr. Cordero, who's
Agustin
still?
Cordero.
Yeah, I remember Mr. Cordero.
Very intelligent man.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
He
Dr.
was-
Rita Hernandez,
He
my.
was giving classes in Spanish and English at the Bone High School.
Yeah, I know Mr. Cordero. He
Yeah.
came to my museum, my bookstore a long time ago.
I think he died 96 years old,
Yeah.
something like that.
Dr. Rita Hernandez, my education historian, interviewed him
Yeah,
years ago, Mr. Cordero. A very capable person,
But
self-taught.
you know, those years, these people they didn't care whether you had a good education or not. See, he was working with a pick and shovel just like anybody. See, we Mexican people, that's what they used to give us. You know. Well, I wasn't working at that time because I wasn't old enough to work, because years back, you know, you had to be 21 years old in order to give you a job.
Okay, so you
Otherwise,
weren't old enough.
You weren't
Oh,
old
okay.
enough.
Okay. Now let's go back to the service. You got drafted, and where did you go? Where was your?
Well, I got drafted, and I went on duty the 15th of October, 1942.
Okay, and where would you report to? Where did you report?
I report to Grand Camp, Illinois.
What's
You
it
know,
called? Camp? What?
Center, Grand Camp Center.
Grand Camp Center.
That's
Okay.
where they give you all the clothes and everything, you know. And
Okay.
then from there, they send you to your respectable camp where you want to be. So from there, I went to Camp Robinson, Arkansas.
Okay. You went for basic training?
Yeah, for basic training. And then when I finished my basic training, they sent me to Camp McCoy, Wisconsin, which it was about 100 miles, 150 miles from here, from Chicago.
Okay. Is it in Missouri, or where's it at? Is it in Illinois, or?
No, the camp, it was here in Wisconsin.
In Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
So what happened after the training?
And then I had another basic training and jungle training too, you know. And we were ready to shift out to overseas, but they canceled it because at that time we got a bunch of Mexican kids, you know, about 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. See, and they most of them they didn't know how to speak English, you know, and they were not American citizens or legal. See, they got all these guys during the World War II. You know, they took thousands of Mexicans that were working on the fields. See, and they weren't legal here, and they took them. See, they took them.
Whether they were citizens or not, they took them.
Yeah, or legal or anything. They didn't care whether they were legal or not. See?
Yeah, at that time, yeah.
Because myself, I wasn't legal here.
Okay.
See, and
So they didn't ask you for papers?
No, hell no. See, they I guess they need.
They needed soldiers.
They need soldiers, you know.
Okay.
And I was in Camp Run, Illinois, you know, and then from there I was in Camp Robinson, Arkansas. That it was about 50 miles from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay.
And then from there to the camp over here in Wisconsin.
Okay. Before we go on, I want to just say that we're here in South Chicago, which is the southeast part of Chicago. We're at the Villa Guadalupe Senior Citizen Center, and it's located at, what's the address here?
91st.
91st and
I don't know
Exchange?
the
Okay.
address.
Well, right here, it's
But
right across.
Here is 3201 East
Okay.
91st.
East 91st. Okay, we're right across the street from Our Lady Guadalupe Church, which has the distinction of having the most young men killed in Vietnam, 12 young men killed in Vietnam out of this parish, more than any parish in the United States, more than any of the 19,000 plus parishes in the United States. So there's a memorial out here right across the street, and if I have any video left, I'll take a shot of it when I leave. So we're going back. You went to camp in Wisconsin. What happened after that?
This where we went to California to go overseas, take the boat over there.
You took a ship over there
Yeah.
to overseas.
Yeah.
Where was it going? Where was the?
We were going direct to Burma, see, because we were 40 days in the sea, you know, because the boat was zigzagging, you know, because they were afraid that, you know, Japanese
Submarines or
submarine, you know, and that's why it took us 40 days to get. And the first port that we hit was Hobart, Australia, and we were there 2 days until they loaded for rations, you know, and from there it took us 3 days to get to Calcutta, India. See, we went through that Black Sea, what they call it.
Okay.
And then we got off at Port of India, and the train was ready, you know. We jumped into the train, and it took us 4 days to get to Burma, and there was only one line, one track, you know, and that it was in between the jungle. All you see were all kind of monkeys and
snakes.
yeah, because there was jungle on this side and jungle on this side.
Jungle all over.
But it took us 3 days to get to Burma.
To Burma.
In the train, you know.
Let me just back up a little bit, Mr. Rodriguez. You said you were 40 days on the ship.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, being Mexican, did you run into any other Mexicans on the ship?
Only, yeah, in my platoon there was 6, but they were from Texas and
They were from other places.
California and Colorado.
So you were bilingual, so you were able to speak Spanish to them also, right?
Yeah, and there was only one that I met that he was in the Marauders.
Oh,
See?
wow.
And he used to live here on 92nd and Brandon. Yeah.
What was his name? Do you know? Okay.
I didn't know his
Okay.
name, you know.
But he was in Merrill's Marauders, one of the famous
Yeah,
groups.
we were the new Marauders.
You were the new Marauders when you got there.
Because
Yeah.
the, the old Marauders, you know, they never mentioned that. They had to walk through the mountains in order to get the Japs by surprise, see? And they did, and they killed a lot of Japs, you know.
Mhm.
But the Japs, they were all over Burma, you know.
All over Burma. Okay.
And that city, you know, by the name of Michino, they had a whole division of Japanese, and that's what they call ammunition dump, you know, for the Japanese. And there was only one airstrip, you know, where the planes used to land, you know, their planes, and they were pretty well.
Let me ask you, up to this time in the military, how were you treated by the non-Mexicans? Well, first of all, did you see any blacks in the?
Hell no.
No blacks. Okay.
You never saw any blacks in combat, you know, during World War II.
How about the whites? How were you treated by the whites on the ship and also in your units?
In the ship, you know, everybody's is friendly, you know.
They're equal because they're going to war, right?
Yeah, because,
everything's equal in war, right?
but everybody, you know, is friendly, and in the boat, I think we were 4,500.
Wow.
And there was 200 nurses and 150 Red Cross. See. But when we got over there, I don't know where
they went. Yeah.
Where they went.
Well, let's get back to the jungle. When you got there, you were in the jungle, and what happened?
Well, when we were about 3 weeks. You know, we never camped close to a city or close to a village or nothing but jungle. We were in the jungle. See, camping because we were waiting for orders to go deeper to the jungles in Burma. See?
Now the Japanese were really entrenched in the jungle,
yeah,
right?
they were there for more than 5 years.
Wow, so they had everything.
Yeah, they were just waiting for orders from Japan, you know, when they were going to declare the war to this country. See, but they were ready already.
They were well fortified then. Huh?
Yeah, they had snipers all over the damn jungle, and so when we went in action, Colonel Greenlee, he was from Chicago, you know, our colonel. His name was Colonel Greenlee, a big guy, you know. So he came over and he says, well, he said, I want to talk to everybody. Okay. So we all, the whole battalion, you know. He sat down and then he says, this is a real thing. Now is a real thing. He says, from now on, he says, to each his own. He says, and if you ever, any of you ever get captured, just your serial number, your name, and your rank. That's all. He says, and you're the only ones that know who's corporal, who's sergeant, who's lieutenant, who's captain, because they take the bars off.
They took everything, all the rank off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he says, and I hope to God, he says that this be over as soon as it's possible. He says, but and when we get back, he says the government, they have money on the side to give all the GIs some government bonus. See, and we're still waiting for those government bonus. Nobody mentioned anything like that. See?
Yeah.
And And he says, and I hope to God we
Make it.
finish with this soon as possible, and
The war's over.
the war's over.
Mr. Rodriguez, I forgot to ask. You were trained as what? Infantryman, artilleryman?
Infantry.
Infantry. Okay.
I was trained twice,
Okay.
infantry, and then we trained for about 5 weeks, jungle training.
Where was the training? The jungle training? Where did it take place?
Over here at
In Wisconsin?
Wisconsin. Yeah.
Okay. It's survival training, jungle.
Yeah,
Oh.
and like I was saying, we were ready to go overseas, but they canceled because that bunch of Mexican kids came over, and there were about 60 of them, and out of the 60, there was only two widows. See,
Wow.
as the two widows, and one of the guys, he had college degree, so they got a hold of him, and they sent him to school, to become a lieutenant. See?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then, but the rest of them, they could speak a little bit English, because they were working all the time.
They were working all the time. They learned some
and
English.
they were legal, And I
Okay.
asked, because they split the 60, In my platoon, they put 30 of them. See?
Mexicans?
Mexicans.
Oh.
They're all Mexicans, yeah. And they put their other 30. I think it was A company, something like that.
Okay.
And I asked him, I said, what the hell you doing over here? How come you? He says, well, I hope if we lucky and come back, I hope they leave us over here.
Oh,
See?
so they could stay here. Yeah.
To stay
Okay.
here.
Because they serve their country, man. They serve this country.
Yeah.
They could stay here, maybe.
And so
Oh.
far, you don't hear anything what they did with those.
With those individuals, whether they send them back or whether they stayed here,
They send them back to Mexico, or they stay here, or what?
or what happens.
And they, I went to Mexico a lot of times. I never hear in Mexico. I was all over, and I never hear that this country.
They came back.
This country, if they went back to Mexico, they didn't help them out. They didn't give them anything.
Anything.
Yeah. See, and like I'm saying, I wasn't illegal here when they took me. They dragged me. See, and I went. I could have go back to Mexico if I want to. See,
Right.
but then I said, well, maybe if I come back, maybe it's different, maybe not too much discrimination and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you came back, same thing,
Mm.
same thing. I used to work at the Wisconsin Steel 1948. I got a job over there. They used to, hey, Pancho, hey, I want you to come here and do something. Hey, Pancho. So finally, I got mad and I said, listen, don't call me Pancho. You know my name. You know what my name is. I said, you call me Pancho. Anybody that calls me Pancho, I'm going to wrap up this pipe around your neck.
Arrived in there.
Yeah. And so they quit calling me
They
Pancho.
quit calling you Pancho.
Yeah. But, you have to, defend
You have to
yourself.
stand up for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Muy bien.
And then I used to, the hell I went to give my life for this country, and I come back in the same damn thing.
Same damn
Because
thing.
when I was in the service, there was a lot of discrimination for us. They didn't treat us, just like the others. I know that for sure because it happens to me.
It happened to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were the officers all white?
Oh yeah.
The officers were all white.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see any Mexicans at all that were sergeants or?
Yeah,
They could
we
be
had a Mexican sergeant, he was from San Antonio.
Okay.
His name was Joe Pineda.
Joe
See,
Pineda.
And we got to be real good friends. We used to play around, him and
Did
I.
you guys play any? Well, you were in combat, so you really didn't get
No,
a chance to play
no,
ball
we
or
play
anything.
baseball after,
Oh.
after we clean all, because, see, the signals we had in the arm, in the shirt, it was CBI, which means China, Burma, and India.
India. The CBI. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That was a patch you were wearing.
Yeah, that's a patch we used to
Okay.
wear.
Now let's get back to your combat time in the jungle. What happened? Well, you were an infantryman. Did you get into combat? I noticed that you got some Purple Heart, so
Yeah.
you were wounded in combat. How were the Japanese? Were they were well dug in?
Well, I'm telling you that if it wasn't for the Chinese, because the Chinese were on our side, and the only way that we could know who was Chinese and who was Japanese, because that people is the same.
Yeah, they looked the same.
They look the same, but the Chinese had a river, a yellow river here.
Oh, a yellow ribbon?
Yeah, so that we can notice that they were Chinese.
They were Chinese, not
Yeah.
Japanese. Yeah.
And they were real good.
They were good soldiers. The
Oh,
Chinese.
they didn't kill them, they're not afraid to get killed or killed, you know. The Japanese the same way. See,
Okay, you're right. Right, the Asian. Yeah.
But the Japanese, they had snipers all over the jungles, see? And
Did any of your friends get killed? Anybody that you
No.
know? Yeah.
no.
Okay. So you were in the jungle and you were fighting the Japanese.
Yeah, and the snipers are the ones that used to kill more our people because those jungles, you don't see trees like over here in the park. Those trees are about 150 feet tall and real big. The roots, I never seen any trees like that, in my life. The roots, they come
right out of the ground.
right out about 4-5 feet tall, and
Wow.
from there the tree start growing, but the roots are about this thick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
In order-
So they're very sturdy trees, very big trees. The
Oh,
roots,
yeah,
the
and-
roots have come right out of the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
And this was in
And
Bur
that was easy for the Japanese,
to climb up.
to get in
Oh.
underneath the tree.
Underneath the trees.
Because the roots used to come out like this.
Oh, so they used to
And-
hide it in there.
Yeah, they could hide it there and get a machine gun and
Wow.
everything. And then the bamboo, it grows about this round,
Mhm.
and the limbs are about this thick. So
Wow.
they can clean in the middle of the bamboos, and they can hide there, with a machine gun or with the rifles or whatever they have
This was in Burma?
in Burma.
In Burma,
And,
okay.
in the jungles, India and Burma, not even a tank can go in there.
Wow, yeah, because of the foliage,
Yeah.
because of the trees.
No jeep, no
Wow.
trucks, no nothing. You know how they used to. I used to bring the wounded men out to the advanced hospital, what they call it, with a carreta,
Yeah.
two wheels and two water buffaloes pegados, to arrastrando.
To
the carreta.
evacuate them.
Yeah, that was the only way they
The only way,
used to evacuate
okay.
the wounded men, and that's the way it happens to me too. See,
When did you first get wounded?
and, where?
Yeah.
Over there.
In the shoulder?
In my shoulder, but
How long were you there when you got wounded, before you got wounded?
I got wounded before we got to mission. That was our what do they call it? We supposed invade Michigan,
Oh.
you know, because they were the Japanese in that city. That's where they had their ammunition dump.
Ammunition dumps.
They had everything there, you know. They even
Okay.
had small tanks.
Oh, wow.
And that was our mission, you know, to take Michigan, you know.
Now you
But
got, okay.
But I got wounded.
You got wounded. Was it small arms fire or was it shrapnel? Or what?
Well, I used to use.
What weapon did you use, sir?
Most of the time I use it carbine because that's good for fighting in the jungle.
Yeah, because it's smaller than the M1.
Smaller. And M1 is bigger.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
heavier and bigger.
Yeah.
So it was the
and,
carbine, the M1 carbine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I used to use BAR.
Oh, Brown automatic rifle. Yeah.
BAR is
Huge.
long, but
And heavy.
It's got two little.
It's a tripod.
Yeah, and you can lay on your belly, and you set it, and you just go like a machine gun.
Okay.
You know?
So you carry the BAR.
Yeah, and we had mortars too, you know, 60 mil mortar.
And you know you're not very big in size. Okay, you're 5 foot what? How tall are you?
Well, when I was young, I think I was 5'6".
5'6".
But
Okay.
when you get old, you
Yeah.
shrink.
5'6", but you weighed about what? About how much did you weigh?
I used to weigh 140 pounds.
140 pounds. So a BAR is still a heavy weapon.
Yeah, it is.
A very heavy weapon.
I used to carry it in my shoulder, you know.
Wow.
When we used to get out of the foxholes, you know, to go and attack the Japanese.
Now you carried ammunition too, or somebody else carried ammunition?
No,
For the BAR.
I used to carry ammunition for the M1, you know, and I used to carry 2 bandoliers, one.
Wow.
Here, one.
Also heavy. Wow.
And then we used to carry 2 grenades on each side. You know.
2 grenades. So you were really loaded down. Plus your canteen, plus you know
Yeah.
all the other stuff.
The canteen, you know, and
Did you carry a 40?
We used to carry packs, you know.
Yeah.
But we threw them away because in the jungle you can't carry that.
You can't carry that. Now, how did you sleep in the jungle, or did you sleep at all?
No, we didn't hardly sleep at all.
You had a poncho or something?
No.
Did it rain a lot in the jungle?
Yeah, we had everything against us because over there they call it monsoon. See? And that's when it rains day and night, and you can't hear nothing because the rain makes noise to the
Wherever it hits, it makes noise.
wherever it hits, and the ground is about this high, you know. It just all leaves, you know, that the trees, you know, they come down.
They fall down.
And
Yeah.
you walking like if you walking in a mattress or something,
Wow.
you know. But when it rains, you know, all those leaves, you know, they get wet and everything. You don't hear anything, see? And I got wounded about from here to the alley, you know, before we got into Michigan, you know. Maybe if that thing happened, maybe I won't be here talking, you know, because a lot of thousands of GIs, you know, when they took that mission, they died. And so it's
They got killed in the.
But we had, like I said, the Chinese on our side. We had the Indian soldiers, and then we had the Burmese soldiers.
Burmese. So you had support troops in
We
there.
surrendered the city, you know, but that's where I got wounded, you know, hand grenade.
A hand grenade.
Yeah.
So it was shrapnel.
Yeah, 3. But,
3.
You know, I hardly see
The wound.
the wounds, you know,
But did you get evacuated out or?
No,
No, they just.
that happens around 12 o'clock at midnight. See, because the Japs at night, they knew the terrain in the jungles because they were there for 5, 6 years.
Years, yeah.
See, so they used to crawl like snakes, at night. They knew where we were, so they used to and throw a hand grenade.
Throw a
It's
hand
just
grenade.
that hand grenade, I think it blows up about from here over there, up my foxhole. But
Okay.
still, I was about this, and that's when they hit me, see.
Okay.
And then I told my buddy, I says, look, I got hit, and I'm gonna go to Lieutenant Martinez. See, because we had a Lieutenant Mexicanos, right?
Okay.
Because the company commander of us, he got wounded, see?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had a Mexican guy that was in
Yeah.
charge. Okay.
So
Okay.
I went over there, but I was telling, the recognized word, see?
Okay.
And
So you got wounded, and then did you go back in action? They just fixed you up, and then
no,
or what happened?
I got wounded, and I had to stay until morning, and at that time, my arm started getting blue, from here down to my elbow, and so they came around 5 o'clock, and they picked me up, there was a Chinese soldier, and there was a Indian soldier, and a Burmese soldier, There were 4 of them, and they were pretty well armed, and they came and picked me up and threw me in that carreta,
And there you
and
go.
there was 2 more, see, but they were Chinese and a Burmese.
And Burmese. Okay.
And then
They had doctors there, or what happened?
yeah, that they have a advanced hospital, what they call
Oh yeah,
it.
like the MASH.
That's only 2 doctors and 2 nurses.
Okay.
See, but they away from the fronts, about
They're in the rear.
about 2 miles.
2 miles from the
See?
town. Yeah.
So that's why they used to take us, in a carreta, because there was no way to go to
Yeah. For any
for
transportation.
a jeep or
Right. Vehicle. Any
No.
vehicle.
and you know how we got the rations? By parachute.
By parachute. Oh, good. All right.
Yeah,
How was speaking of rations, how was the food? Was it all sea ration? Or?
We were up to here eating that stuff, there was a boxes about this big. You ever see boxes of popcorn that
Yeah.
have a sailor?
Right.
Well, that's only a little bigger and a little wider, see? And they, in those boxes, they had 2 envelopes, one with coffee, and the other one for lemonade,
Mm-hmm.
and powder,
Right.
And then we had 5 sticks of cheese, but this white,
Uh-huh.
and then 6 cookies,
6 cookies. Okay.
6 cookies, and some gum, see, and that's all. That's all we had, and we were tired of eating that stuff, and then the Chinese used to come to our perimeter where we were in the foxholes and pick up, those boxes, and we used to throw them, just, and you know how we used to make the coffee?
Oh.
We used to take off a helmet,
I put it in there.
and
Yeah.
put some water from the canteen,
Mm.
and
Okay.
just
Well,
stir them up, and drink it because they couldn't make no fire.
Let-
We
let-
didn't even put smoke or anything because at night you could see from
Right, you could see it
far.
for a long
Yeah,
time.
and
Okay.
even in the daytime, you can. If you smoking, you can
You
see
can see
from
the smoke,
far the smoke,
Yeah.
that's coming out from it.
Now, how long were you in the jungle in combat? How long were you there?
Well, we were there, I don't know, maybe about 10, 12 months, something
10, 12
like
months.
that.
Wow. In there.
Yeah.
Did you get wounded again, or
No.
No, just that one time.
When I went to they took me and see, they patched me up. That advanced hospital is to patch you up,
right?
and from there, they send you they used to send us to India,
Uh-huh.
to the regular hospital.
Right.
See, and in those small planes, that only the pilot and one person
Right.
fits in those planes.
The small plane.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. You came back after the war. You came back.
Yeah,
Came back to Chicago.
After the war,
Yeah.
yeah, I came.
You came back to
to
Chicago.
work, yeah.
You went to work in. Where did you work?
I used to work in a factory that used to make parts for the government. But
Oh, okay.
when the war was over,
Okay.
they closed it up. I
Okay.
worked for 1 year, and then that's when I got a job over here in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin Steel.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you. Did you get married?
Yeah, I
You got married. Somebody from here? From Chicago?
Yeah, somewhere
Yeah.
from
And
from Ohio,
From Ohio. What was her name?
Petra.
Petra.
Yeah.
Okay. Petra what? Petra.
Hector Garcia,
Okay.
like me.
Okay. Rodriguez.
But
Yeah.
her name was her last name was Nieto.
Nieto. Okay. Petra Nieto.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many kids did you have?
Well, I had my daughter, these two kids.
Okay. You had these two boys here.
Yeah.
They were both in the Navy. I see.
Yeah. This one here, he put in 8 years in the Navy.
Oh, you put 8 years in
And
the
the
Navy.
other one only 4 years.
Okay. 4 years in the Navy. What's his name?
But
Okay.
he took electronics, and he's got a good job at the base.
Okay.
Navy base at Maryland.
That's your two sons. Now here's your
Right.
mother and your father.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then
my
this is your brother, and then this is you right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, that's when I was in McCoy, Wisconsin.
Okay. And here's your DD 214. Here's your honorable discharge. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how, but we were a long time in those jungles, And,
Well-
we never saw a city because, at that time, Burma only had three cities, Myitkyina and Rangoon. Rangoon is the capital of
Right. Burma.
Burma.
Mhm.
And that other one, I think, her name was Moho, something like that,
Okay.
But they had villages, around the jungles, those what they call natives, they come on the scouts with the spores and if they eat meat, that's what they kill in the jungles.
Mhm.
Because
Oh.
hay unas lanzas así grandes, machetes, They
What did they kill? Is there alligator? What food? What kind of meat?
Well, they kill they fish, they're like
Fish,
fish in the rivers,
Uh-huh.
and they kill iguana. They eat.
Iguana.
They say they eat it, and
Anything there in the
animal,
jungle.
But I don't know how that those the people, they have kids, who takes care of when they born.
Yeah.
That's something.
They survive, huh?
it's something a lot of people here back here in this country or any other country.
Yeah.
They don't see things like that,
Yeah.
you know, they don't believe, you know, they
M-
see on movies
m-
and the paper or
Right.
something.
Mr. Rodriguez, how were you treated when you came back as a Mexican? You know.
Well, I was telling you that the same thing.
Nothing changed when you came
Nothing
back
did.
from the war.
But yeah, I was. Did I tell you that how they used to treat us in Wisconsin still by calling you Pancho, Pancho,
Yeah.
come on and do this and do that, you know.
So nothing really changed after the war that much.
No,
Okay,
no,
for you.
and yet, not even now. You see, you watch the channel 66.
Yeah, right,
How they treat the Mexican
The Mexicans,
people
they
over
still
there in
treat-
California
right. They still treat them the same.
and all over. See,
Well, you know, I just wanted to say that Dr. Hector Garcia came back from the war and he started the American GI Forum to combat that racism and discrimination. And we're trying to get something named for Dr. Garcia, who
and,
did that.
And where is he from?
He's from Corpus Christi,
Oh.
originally from Mexico, from Tamaulipas, came to Corpus.
Oh, yeah,
and
state
he-
of Tamaulipas.
Yeah, and he's the one that started the American GI Forum to combat the discrimination and racism that Mexican veterans were encountering when they came back from the war.
You know, my son here, he knows a lot, you know, because he reads history.
Oh,
and
good.
he knows a lot.
And I want to thank your nephew, is it Frank? Frank Corona? Yeah, Lieutenant Frank Corona from the fire department, who told me that about you, and I want to thank Frank very much. This is a real honor, Mr. Rodriguez, to be here with you. This will be part of the archives at the University of Texas in Austin, and we want to thank Dr. Maggie Rodriguez for giving us the opportunity to do this.
Mhm.
We should have been doing this a long time ago.
Oh, yeah,
And you know, unfortunately, a lot of people have passed on that we didn't get their stories. So
Yeah, I know most of the players that used to play with me, baseball, they all went to World War II. Some of them came back and some of them
some of them didn't come back.
they didn't.
Well, you know, Ray Castro's putting a list together of all the World War II veterans.
I gave Castro the list of all these kids that used to play
Oh.
baseball with me.
Oh, good,
Because
good.
he told me that there was somebody, I forgot who, was trying to
Put something
he
together.
was trying to write a book or something.
Well, this is what I do. I have an exhibit,
Mhm.
and I go around. I have the one from Our Lady of Guadalupe. I'm sorry, the one from St. Francis Church over there on
Mhm.
Roosevelt Road. I
Mhm.
have the list of all the Mexican Americans that went to war
Yeah.
from St. Francis Church.
Because Ray told me, he says, we got all the names,
Right,
the ones that went to Korea,
Right.
the ones that went to Vietnam, except the ones that
World War
went to
II, right,
World War II.
right.
I said, what you want to know? I can tell you. And I showed him the picture because I got the picture there. Let me show it to you. To World War II. And here's Mr. Cordero. He was our manager.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is the Mayas.
Yeah, yeah. And they all passed away, you know, because the ones that came over here, they turned out to be an alcoholic. And some of them died of diabetes.
Diabetic and so on.
And some of them died, you know, because they were drinking too much. See,
So they went to the war, came back, played
Yeah.
ball.
here's me, you know.
Oh, is that you right there?
Yeah.
That's you right there. The second one on the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
right here.
Yeah.
Okay, good. What position did you play?
Shortstop.
Shortstop. Oh, the best position, shortstop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I used to, you know, I used to play third base, second base, shortstop, right field, center field, left field. You know,
Mm.
the only positions I didn't like to play was first because I was afraid that somebody step on me.
Okay.
And pitcher or catcher. See, but
My-
the rest of the
My
positions.
my educated historian, Dr. Rita Hernandez, her father used to coach one of the teams over here. I think
Oh,
they
yeah.
were the Yaquis.
Oh, the Yankees.
Yeah.
The the one they used to own the yachts, I think it was Peralta.
Peralta, yeah, right,
Yeah,
right,
Peralta.
right.
And but they weren't too good, you know. They were better when he started putting in the team Güeros and all
Oh,
that.
okay.
You know? But when they were putting Mexicanos, no, and there was another team by the name of Los Once Viejos. Because they were all
Old
you know,
timers.
but they used to go and play in the park, you know, and make the people laugh, you know.
Well, I heard that there was a team that they called the Zoot Zoots or something. These guys used to be out there with the pointed shoes and all that. A baseball team like that. I don't know if it's true or not, but
What's the name?
they were like suiters. You know, they had.
Ah, yeah, but no, these guys were, you know, dressed up, you know, like
Yeah.
never.
Did they ever play the team in East Chicago, Los Gallos? There was a team in East Chicago called Los Gallos.
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
No,
okay.
no.
Well, Mr. Rodriguez, is there anything else you want to say? Your experience in the war?
Well, when I, like I was saying, you know, when I got wounded, I went to the hospital, and you know what? I thought they were going to put me in the regular hospital. You know where they put me?
Where?
They put me in those barracks. They were nothing but made of bamboo, and the floor was it wasn't pavement, you know.
Right.
And and uh, and they had on each barrack bamboo. They had about 25 or 30 cotton beds, you know, because they were putting all these Chinese, they were wounded, Indian soldiers, you know, or Burmese. They were putting them in there, you know, and they put me there.
They put you on the floor. Right?
They put me there, and then there was a Mexican guy from Chicago, and because when they took me to the hospital, I had a
beard
in my face and long hair, you know, with so many months
in the jungle. Yeah.
in the jungles, and without the washing or anything, you know. So
let me just say thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez, in case we run out of the battery here is running out. But I just want to thank you very much. Es un placer conocerlo. I feel very honored, and you're in very good shape. You're in better shape than most people that I know that are much younger, and you're very strong, and your mind is very, very good, and I want to thank you very much. Como digo, es un placer conocerlo, and I'm sure the people that are going to review this tape down in Texas are going to be very honored to have this copy for you. I think Frank, your nephew, probably wanted a copy of this too. So, is this the first time you've been interviewed, or have you been interviewed before?
yeah, this is the first time.
This is the first time.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to thank the people here that I told them I was going to interview you today. Today is Wednesday, September the 21st, 2005. We're here in South Chicago at the Villa Guadalupe Senior Citizen Center, right across from Our Lady of Guadalupe. And we want to thank Mr. Rodriguez for all his comments, for all his history, for his life, for experiences, and we're very, very honored to know you. I don't know if there's anything else.
When
Go ahead. We'll do it till we run out.
When I come out of the hospital over there, you know, I was 42 days because I got well, you know, it didn't took long, you know. So they sent me to a camp, Australian camp, that they were supposed to every soldier that got wounded and he comes out of the hospital, they send to that hospital to rest for a couple of weeks, see? But me, they sent me only for 1 week. And then I had to come back again.
You had to go back into the line. Yeah. Okay. Did you ever come to face with any Japanese? You saw them, right? Though?
No. But we had a sergeant, Merrick. His name was Merrick. He was a German, and he had relatives in Germany, and he was telling me that he had a hell of a time to admit him over here.
Oh, because he was German.
But he wasn't afraid, and he was sergeant, and he always, every time we used to go on reconnaissance or outpost, right away he used to, Rodríguez, we gotta go to reconnaissance or outpost, and the widows, they didn't want to go because it's dangerous,
Yeah, it's dangerous.
You have to be about half mile from your perimeter where the rest of them are. So we went that day. He says, "Come on, let's go with them." So we went. That was me and Hidalgo. See, and I told him, I said, how come these waters they don't want to go? He says, well, this so and so is Carlos so and so. He says, but I'll give him. So we went. See, there was 4 güeros and the 2 of us, and him, and the sergeant. And he had one of those Tommy machine guns, and I had my rifle. So we ran into a post, Japanese post, and he killed 2 of them, and the other one, and one escaped. And then there was another one coming, with 2 cans of rice, for the ones that were there in the post. And so I saw this, and I said, and me lo eché, y dijo, and then Merrick says, the searcher says, come on, let's go and see, maybe you can hear him right. No, sí, estaban los botes ahí de arroz tirados, que les traía a los otros, pero él todavía le dio otros 2 con la machina. Y entonces me fui yo, y no me fijé, and there was a big crater, because las bombas que aventaban los aviones hacen a big crater, onda, like, de onda como que hay para abajo, y me caí, ¿ves? Y los vuelos se regresaron, ¿ves? Entonces, Mary, hey, Rodrigo, where are you at? Y le decía, I'm here. Y dice, where? Y luego, que si se ha ido, no me saca de allí, llegan los japoneses, me asesinan. Yeah, ¿ves? Entonces dice, damn, how the hell you got in here? I said, well, I didn't look, and I just fell down, that's all. He says, give me your rifle. Y yo le di yo el rifle, ¿ves? And there was no way to go, ¿ves? To go out, because la tierra está bien suelta. So he says, give me your rifle. Y yo la amarró como un lazo así, ¿ves? Y dice, give me your rifle, and me dio, dice, agárrate, y pulled me out, ¿ves?
Wow.
Si no ha sido eso, no estuviera yo aquí, ¿ves? Y cuando nos regresamos, when we went back, we meet Lieutenant Martinez, see?
He's the Mexican officer?
Yeah, he was from New Mexico, and he looked at me, I had my 2 weapons bad one in the back. He said, are you Mexican? I says, yeah. Y ya me empezó a hablar, in Spanish. And he asked me, he says, well, where the hell did you come from? I said, we were in reconnaissance, and we just coming back. And yo fui el primero que que se topó conmigo él, ¿no? Y se hizo muy amigo mío.
¿Oh, sí?
Y luego dice, estos hijos de quién sabe qué, dice, anda uno peleando por ellos, siempre lo tratan mal. He told me that.
He was mad because the way he was treated.
Yes, because the reason why he went over there because our captain, company commander, he got wounded, you know. So they
But-
sent him in, in place, you know.
Did he get a battlefield commission or did they go to officer school? You know.
No,
Lieutenant
he went
Martin.
to the officer school.
He went to officer school.
Yeah,
Okay.
he went to the same college that the captain went.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they knew each other from
Each other.
from New Mexico. See?
Oh, okay.
And he told me, he says, I was in the army. He says, and I was a sergeant already. And all of a sudden, this guy joins the army, and in short time, he was already lieutenant.
Oh,
And then
okay.
pretty soon, captain. And me, that I was there for more time, more years than he. I was only a sergeant, and we went to the same college, and right away he became a captain.
A captain.
Por eso él decía estos tales cuales, you know. And he was a good friend of mine, and when I came back from the hospital, from the rest camp, they already had invade mission and everything, you know, and then every time he used to go for some kind of business, you know, with 209 combat engineers, you know.
Yeah. What was your unit? I forgot to ask you. What was your unit? What was it called?
236 combat engineers.
236 combat engineers. Okay.
And there was another battalion, you know, 209 combat engineers. And after that, we cleaned all that, and, you know, Burma, and we took Michigan. Every time he used to go to the other battalion, you know, for something, you know. He right away he used to, Rodríguez, come on, get in the jeep, and I got some business at the 209.
Mr. Rodriguez, let me just interrupt. How old are you now?
91.
91.
1914.
Okay. 1914. You're 91 years old.
Yeah.
And when are you gonna be 92? Or you just turned 91?
I turned 91 this May.
Oh, this May. Okay.
See, so next May I'll be
92.
90.
Okay. Well, you're a remarkable specimen, if I could use that word.
And you know, I had a stroke, you know. And,
Oh, you did? Oh.
Yeah, I had a stroke. I've been in the hospital about 5 times, you know, VA hospital. But you know, the doctor said, Jesus Christ,
you're very strong. You're very strong, and your mind is very, very good.
They send me home, you know. They say, I asked them, I says, how come you're going to send me home? You know, I have that open heart surgery. It's only 4 days. He says, oh, you look strong.
You look good. You look strong.
And you got a strong blood and a strong heart. He says, everything is healing just right. See?
Well, listen. When did your wife pass away? Did she pass away some years ago, or?
No, well, I was divorced from her.
You were divorced from
for
her.
about 35 years.
Okay.
So,
But has he passed away since, or?
She just passed away, I think, a couple of months ago.
A couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Okay. And your sons come to visit you?
My sons came to her
Funeral?
funeral.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so your sons come to visit you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
good.
yesterday, this one, he calls me.
Okay.
You know, he calls me.
What's his name?
Ruben.
Ruben. And the other one?
Junior, just like me.
Oh, okay. Cruz, okay.
Yeah, and this one, he calls me about 6, 7 times a year.
Wow.
Yeah, and that other one too, you know. Yesterday he called me, and to find out if I'm all right.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
good. How did they treat you here? Very nice here? How's it?
Over here?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know because I had a few arguments with
Okay.
them, with
But do you eat here? You go out to eat or what?
No, I go for food at the little store.
Oh, at the little store. Okay.
Across the street.
Okay.
Because the lady makes all kind of food,
Oh, I see.
She
Okay, so you
cooks
go
all
there to
kind
eat.
of food, yeah.
Your appetite's pretty good?
Yeah, so far so good, and I sleep good too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm jealous because I'm not a good sleeper.
And,
But anyway, that's good. I mean, it's just fantastic and great. I've interviewed about 23 World War II veterans,
yeah.
and I have to say you're in good company. Most of them in Chicago, and some in Indiana that I've interviewed. And you're a very good company with a lot of these men. I know down in Austin, Texas, when they look at these tapes, they just overwhelmed by the participation of Mexicans. Los mexicanos son bien valientes, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
In every war.
I got that story, that belongs to Frankie. I had it, but I went to Mexico and I forgot it over there in Mexico. And they never mailed it to
Okay.
me, So, but in that book, and it's all the pictures of the Mexicanos. They all were heroes, and they all. Some of them they got the bronze stars, some of the silver stars, some of the
Distinguished Service Cross,
Distinguished Service Cross, and
Medal of Honor.
And which one is the biggest one?
Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor.
Yeah, the one that just passed away, Jose Lopez, was one of the greatest heroes of World War II. He killed over 100 Germans single-handedly.
Yeah.
He's from Mexico, but they say he's from Mission, Texas. But anyway, that was Jose Lopez. He just passed away not too long ago.
And sometimes the American Legion magazine, it brings stories.
Some of them.
How they treat the Mexicanos.
Right.
And believe it or not, but World War II, there were more Mexican heroes and from the Central America
Than any place else.
Than Americans.
Yeah, yeah.
But they don't want to admit it.
I know. Well, this is my job to research all that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to leave you now. Thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez. It's been a real pleasure. I'm going to see if I have some footage left so I can shoot the wall over there. Okay? Thank you. Gracias. Have a good day. Young man that got killed in Vietnam from this church, Our Lady of Guadalupe, more than any parish, 19,000 something parishes in the United States. Back, there's the Via Guadalupe where I came from Mr. Rodriguez. There's Our Lady of Guadalupe Church. This is the oldest Mexican community in Chicago. I think that's it.